always thought my life was just a string of random events. Then, one night, a simple pattern in the stars showed me a pattern in myself. At first, I just wrote it off as a pretty cosmic coincidence. But it turned out to be the exact message I needed to unlock my life's purpose. That one moment of just paying attention? It changed everything. In this video, I'm going to share the framework I figured out that night, so you can learn to read the universe's messages and connect them to what your heart is already trying to tell you. The before a life adrift for most of my life, I felt like I was standing in a river, getting pulled in 100 different directions at once. Was I busy? Sure. I was productive. On the outside, I probably looked like I had it all together. I had the job, the routine, the checklist of things I was supposed to achieve. But on the inside, I was completely lost. I had this quiet, nagging feeling of dissatisfaction, like I was living someone else's idea of a good life. It wasn't some big, dramatic tragedy, it was quieter, and honestly, more confusing. It was a life of quiet desperation, painted in shades of beige. I'd go through the motions, wake up, work, eat, sleep, and do it all again, and in the tiny moments of silence, this question would pop up. Is this really it? It felt like everyone else had been given a secret map that I'd somehow missed out on. I was waiting for a lightning strike, a booming voice from the sky, some huge, undeniable sign that would point and say, "There. That's your purpose. Go that way." I read all the self-help books, went to seminars, and filled up journals with goals, but it all felt like rearranging furniture in a house I didn't even want to live in. I was trying to think my way into a feeling. I was looking for someone or something outside of me to give me permission to live a life that felt real because I had no clue how to find that permission in myself. My own intuition was buried so deep under what I thought I should be doing that I couldn't hear it anymore. I was convinced purpose was something you find, like a lost set of keys, not something you build, piece by piece, just by learning to listen. So, I kept waiting, looking everywhere but within for an answer that was never going to come from out there. The catalyst, the night sky, the night everything changed, started out like any other. I was feeling that same old mix of restlessness and tiredness, and I stepped outside just to get some fresh air and escape my own thoughts for a minute. It was a clear, dark night, the kind where the sky feels like it goes on forever. And that's when I saw it. Hanging in the black was a perfect silver crescent moon, and snuggled right up next to it was a single, impossibly bright star. My first thought was simple. Wow, that's beautiful. I snapped a picture with my phone, you know how it is, thinking it would make a nice little post. I was just admiring the sheer luck of it, this perfect celestial photo op. I almost went right back inside. My logical brain had already filed it away, pretty space thing. A random, beautiful coincidence. The end. But I didn't go inside. Something kept me out there. And as I just stood there looking at it, this feeling started to bubble up from somewhere deep inside me. It wasn't a thought, it was a physical sensation. A calm. It felt like the universe had suddenly leaned in to whisper something. That nagging question, is this it, popped into my head, but for once, it wasn't anxious. It was just there. And looking at the moon and the star, an answer started to form, not in words, but in a feeling. The moon, in so many cultures, represents our inner world, our intuition, our emotions, the parts of us that are usually hidden. And the star? That represents guidance, hope, a single point of bright, steady light. Seeing them together like that, it was like a picture of everything I'd been missing. It wasn't a message telling me what to do. It was a message telling me how to listen. The point wasn't to find some star out there to follow, the point was to bring the light of clarity to the intuitive feelings I already had inside me. The guidance wasn't out there, it was in connecting the two. I must have stood there for an hour, looking in the sky, with pure, profound relief. The relief of finally understanding. I wasn't being given an answer, I was being reminded of a question I'd forgotten to ask. What do I already feel? What do I already know? The sky didn't give me a map that night. It gave me a compass. And that compass wasn't pointing to some destination. It was pointing inward. The revelation unlocking the framework that night taught me that the universe isn't some puppet master pulling strings or an oracle shouting answers. It's a mirror, showing you the patterns you need to see. The messages aren't commands, they're invitations to pay attention. That moon and star were my invitation, but I started to realize that these invitations are everywhere, all the time, once you know how to look. The whole experience gave me a framework, a practical way to notice these messages and connect them to my own inner wisdom. This is the framework. It's not magic, it's about attention. First step, notice. You must get into the habit of looking up from the daily grind and seeing the world around you. Signs don't usually show up with a drum roll. They're subtle. It might be synchronic, like hearing the same weird phrase 3 times in one day. It could be seeing repeating numbers right when you're wrestling with a big decision. Maybe it's an animal that shows up at a strange moment, or a song that comes on with lyrics that feel like they were written just for you. The trick is to look for patterns and things that feel a little too perfect to be random. Don't get obsessed with searching, just leave a little space for them to find you. Second step, pause and ask. This is the most important part. When you notice one of these things, a symbol, a gut feeling, don't just brush it off. Stop. Take a breath. And ask yourself one simple question. What was I thinking or feeling right before this happened? The context is everything. The sign is like a highlighter, drawing your attention to the thought or feeling that was already there. It's the universe tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, that thought you just had? That feeling? Pay attention to that. Third, you have to check for resonance. This is how you spot the difference between a real sign and just wishful thinking. A genuine message will click with you on a deep, gut level. It feels less like brand new information and more like confirmation of something you secretly already knew. If you must twist the meaning to make it fit, it's probably not it. You're forcing it. A real sign brings clarity and peace, or sometimes a jolt of truth that might be uncomfortable but still feels right. Ask yourself, does this feel expansive and true, or does it feel anxious and forced? Your body knows the difference. And finally, the fourth step is to take one small, aligned action. A sign isn't a passive thing. It's a call to participate. The universe is holding out a hand, and you must reach out and take it. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job or blow up your life overnight. The action can be tiny. It could be journaling about what happened. It could be finally having that conversation you've been putting off. It could be researching that class you were just thinking about. The action is your way of saying, okay, I hear you, I'm listening. Taking one small step tells the universe you're ready for the next clue, and it makes the message real for you, turning it from just an observation into an active part of your story. The after living with purpose. So, after that night, did my life magically become perfect? Absolutely not. The river of life still has confusing currents. But now, I have a rudder. I have that compass. That frantic search for some purpose, out there, has been replaced by a quiet, steady practice of listening to what's in here. The feeling of being adrift is gone, replaced by a feeling of partnership with the world around me. Living this way means I go through my days with a whole new level of presence. I'm not just waiting for the weekend anymore or for the next big thing to happen to me. I'm in constant conversation. When I face a decision now, I don't just make a pro-con list. I set my intention, ask for a little clarity, and then I pay attention. I notice what shows up. I check in with my gut. Does this path feel open and light, or does it feel heavy and tight? For example, a while back, I was praying for a breakthrough in my life, something I have been waiting for a very long time. My logical brain was getting filled with doubt and impatience, constantly wondering if it was ever going to happen. I felt stuck. I asked for a sign, any sign, to know that my request was in alignment with the universe and God's intention for my life. Instead of a big, obvious answer, I just decided to pay attention using the framework. The signs started showing up in quiet ways. I kept hearing messages about divine timing and the importance of faith. A friend I hadn't spoken to in months texted me an encouraging message that felt like it had come out of nowhere. I kept seeing numbers that for me have always been a sign of spiritual support and alignment. Using the framework, I paused. I realized the external signs were mirroring my deepest need for confirmation. They weren't telling me what to do but were encouraging me to trust the process. My small, aligned action wasn't some grand gesture, it was to consciously release my anxiety and lean into faith. It was terrifying to let go of control. But embracing that trust brought a profound sense of peace. The signs confirmed that my breakthrough is coming and my long-awaited requests are heard. This is how it works. It's a dance between your inner knowing and the outer world confirming it. The invitation: this isn't the special power that only I have. This language of the universe is speaking to you, too. All the time. You are worthy of guidance, and you absolutely have the power to understand it. The Bible reminds us in 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." You have that power. The signs are showing up for you, inviting you to pause and check in with what you truly want and feel. So, here's my invitation to you: start practicing this today. Just start noticing. And I'd love to build a community around this. In the comments below, tell me, what is a sign or a coincidence you've experienced recently? It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it was a song, a number, a random conversation. By sharing our stories, we can help each other see the magic we might have otherwise missed. That night, I thought I was just looking at the moon and a star. What I really saw was a reminder. The signs that matter most are the ones that help you notice what you're already feeling. They aren't fortune-telling. They're a spotlight on your present moment. The universe didn't hand me my purpose that night. It just held up in a mirror so I could finally see the wisdom I was already carrying. Your purpose isn't the destination you arrive at. It's the path you walk when you decide to listen to the guidance that is all around you, and more importantly, the guidance that is already inside you. Start listening. You might be surprised at what you hear. If this video gave you even one piece of value today, please do me a quick favor. Hit subscribe so that YouTube can show you more content that actually helps you.